Do you want a simple yet powerful strategy that will print you juicy profits and premium every single month passively while you're at your job, having fun with your family, just enjoying life? Well, strap in because I've got the strategy just for you. Hey guys, Corey here. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time stopping in, be sure to subscribe, tap the bell, ting, and of course, if you care about my feelings, give me a thumbs up as it greatly helps the channel grow. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can run a very powerful strategy, yet so simple to learn on Palantir, and it is the wheel strategy. I'm going to show you how you can take advantage of earnings and how you can take advantage of consistent passive income. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how to do it, why it's powerful, and why there's very little, if any, risk at all, as long as you do it on a good stock like Palantir. I just want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just here to give you guys tips, strategies, technicals, fundamentals, financials, and overall market sentiment to help you guys understand and become better traders. It's ultimately up to you to decide which stocks you want to put your money into and how much of a position size in those stocks, options, or strategies that you have, as it's ultimately your money. Nothing can be more stressful than working the same job that you don't really like over and over again, spending lots of time there. You're losing out on location and time freedom. You can't spend time with your family. I understand. I get that. I had the exact same issue most of my life, and about 7 years ago, I was pretty much flat broke and damn near bankrupt until I learned how to trade efficiently the correct way, went to school, and spent the last 6 years perfecting my strategies that work very efficiently. If you guys are tired of the hustle and the rat race and you really want to dive in and learn options, whether you're a beginner or intermediate, or you just want to advance yourself and achieve the financial freedom and wealth that you ultimately deserve, I'm offering one-on-one coaching, full training, and Discord with alerts daily and weekly to help you achieve your financial freedom. I also launched my masterclass boot camp. It filled up for July, the end of July, and now I've got another one for August, which only has 3 spots remaining. You see, I had no financial freedom until about 4 years ago. Flat broke, like I said, almost bankrupt, but now I get to enjoy life at its fullest. I get to buy the cars that I love, motorcycles, houses. I get to give my dad or my mom money. I get to give things to my children and watch them smile and live a good life and enjoy the hobbies they enjoy, like dirt bikes, video games, going on vacation as a family. I was able to help my mom buy a car. I was able to help my dad buy a car. And I was able to buy another new car recently as well. And I'm able to achieve these things in my life, these financial freedoms, because of trading and investing. And I want to help you achieve the exact same results. If you guys are interested, you could sign up at any time, investwithcorey.com, right there on the screen or in the information box below. I can't wait to meet you guys, and I hope to help you achieve the financial, time, and location freedom that you ultimately deserve. So this strategy I'm going to show you guys is the wheel strategy on Palantir. Very powerful strategy. I'm going to show you how to implement it into your portfolio. But first, I want to dive into one really small topic here that a lot of people ask about the wheel strategy. And typically what people ask me is, well, if you get into a stock at 25 and then you exit a stock at 27, how do you get back in and make money? Well, number one, you got to understand the stock. You have to have a relationship with it, almost like a marriage, right? When you're married to someone, you get to know them way more than you would if you weren't married, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. You get married and after a few years, you realize, wow, I know this person way more than I ever thought. It's not the same. Maybe it's better, maybe it's worse, but it's not the same. You just get to know them so well. You know what they're going to do, what they're going to say. You can be somewhat predictable. The same thing as the stock market. The more that you understand the stocks that you're trading, the more you'll understand when to get in and when to get out, which is why I highly recommend studying 3 to 5 stocks and understanding them flawlessly, or as close to flawlessly as possible. And for me, I actually have a list of 150 of my favorite stocks, but I really study closely about 20 stocks, but I've been doing this for almost 9 years now. So I've gotten used to what to look for, and I teach that, but it's very hard in the beginning. So I recommend 3 to 5 stocks. In this video, we're specifically going to look at Palantir. If you guys love my YouTube alerts, you're going to love the Discord alerts even more. There's a lot more of them and a lot bigger plays as well. This is an alert specifically I did not share on YouTube. It was on Ford earnings last week. And you guys will see here where I said, I love Ford, but I bought puts to hedge and told everyone to do this at 341 on July 24th. And you will see that this was last week when Ford had earnings. I made $900 on very small positions on Ford. However, we go over to screenshot profits and you will see that one of my Discord members right here, those puts were fire and a dollar sign right there that you can't see. It's a heavy dollar sign. He made 14,000 total return. Well, 11,000. He put up 2,900 to make 11,000. 450% overnight. He bought the puts for 29, sold them for $1.45. I did the exact same thing, except I only had 10 contracts instead of 100. This guy made $11,000 overnight. Just one of my many trades. You guys know I've done Rivian, Wayfair, Robinhood, Hims, Palantir, SoFi, SoundHound. The list goes on and on. And most recently, I have another Discord member named Jesse who is just printing premiums here. You guys can see $1,500 a week selling puts. And then I'll show you where he made even more money. He bought 2,000 shares of SoFi at $6.39, sold at $7.79. 2,000 shares, made like $2,700 profit in just a little under 2 weeks. He's up $9,000 plus in the last 5 weeks he's been in the Discord. All of my members are making profits because I put out good trades. I care. I'm always in here answering questions like I am right now at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm answering people's questions because I ultimately care about helping everyone. I am very passionate about it. So if you guys are interested, you guys can sign up at any time, investwithcorey.com. So you can see here is a chart on Palantir. And typically Palantir trades between 21 and 25, which you guys can see right about here, $20 to about 25, 26. We're a little bit on the high end right now. So because earnings is coming up, I would ultimately expect the price to go higher, but you can't always time the bottom. So realistically, I would like to be selling puts to get in at 23 or 23.50 and then selling calls to get out at 26 or 26.50. Right now we're at a high. If they beat the earnings, meet or beat the earnings, it's likely to run up a little higher to 28. So it's hard to time the bottom. Then again, if you sell puts and they miss earnings, which is highly unlikely, but it could happen, then the stock could drop. But ultimately, you can always roll out and down. And if you get assigned at 25 and the stock goes to 22, then you'll just sell 24 or 25 calls going 3 weeks out to recoup your losses. But ideally, you don't want to really be more than a couple of dollars on a stock at this price range below your average cost. So realistically, if you get assigned at say 24 and the stock price goes to 21, then you'll just end up selling $24 covered calls, but you'll have to go out a month or 6 weeks, but that's still going to generate you a premium. And if you get assigned, you're still getting out at a profit. So as long as your covered calls, your exit is higher than your entry, your puts, that's all that matters. So if you get assigned on your puts at 24, doesn't matter if you have to go 5 or 6 weeks out. If you're selling 25 or 26 calls, then you're still getting out at a profit. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this specifically on Palantir right now for earnings. I would be very interested to sell $24 puts because it's a little further down and away from the money. And if Palantir is to drop on a missed earnings, it's not likely to go much below 22 or 21. So if you're selling 24 or 23 puts, you're not going to be that far out of the money. Let's go over to Palantir here. I was assigned on all of my Palantir. I don't have it anymore, so that's a bummer. In my challenge account only, my big account, I still hold 1,000 shares, so I'm not really concerned with that, but I got assigned on my challenge account. So let's go ahead and sell a put. Earnings are next week. We'll go out 10 days. Let's sell a $24 put. We could probably actually get away with a 23. A 22 is 19. I would say 23 puts are pretty juicy. Let me show you how you can make $5,000 a month passively doing this. We're going to click continue, bid and ask. We're going to go for 34. As soon as the price drops in the morning during volatility, we'll get filled higher and closer to the bid. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell 34, 20 contracts. We're only going out 10 days. So just on puts, we could generate about $2,100 a month in puts. We need about $40,000 to do this. If we had $100,000, we could generate about $5,000 a month. Puts don't print as well as calls do because this is your entry a lot of the time, especially on a bullish stock, but we can switch up and go to 23.50. And if you guys want to do 20 contracts of that, a little bit more aggressive, 42, we could get filled at. We could see this is 840. So if you had 100 grand, you'd make pretty close to $2,000. If we want to get a little bit more aggressive and just sell 24, this is getting pretty aggressive though. I would say that this is the most aggression I would use in this play. You guys will see here, 20 of these puts will run about $46,000 collateral, but this will generate about $3,500 or $3,300 a month income. This is what I would do. 22, 79, almost an 80% probability of success, 20% delta. 20 delta on a cash secured put is absolutely phenomenal. I know the stock well. 24 is a good entry. So we're going to do this, and we'll do this week in and week out till we get assigned. Since this is just a little over a week out, you could really do this strategy 3 times. So realistically, you can collect about 3,300 to 3,500 a month selling these puts on 45,000. This is about a 10% return, not quite 10%. It's more like 7%, like 6.5%, 7% per month. We're going to sell these 20 contracts right now. In my big portfolio, I actually do have 20 puts for sale on Palantir, but they're not 24, they're actually 23. So I collected less money, same strategy, very similar. We're going to do this. We're going to collect $1,100 juicy premium. So we're going to go to the whiteboard. I'm going to show you guys exactly what's going to happen here. Okay, so Palantir right here. Let's say we sell 20 contracts of the $24 put equals $1,100 juicy premium. So we've collected $1,100 juicy premium. Let's say that we get assigned right after earnings price drops to, let's say, $23. Okay. So $23, our average cost is 24 minus the cost or the premium that we collected. So we can see here that the premium we collected was 55. So our average cost is 23.45. So with that being said, 23.45 is the average cost. 23.45 average cost. Okay, very important to remember. Now what we will do is we will go out 10 days. We're assigned and we will sell covered calls. Now the price is, let's say, $23. We will sell 10 days out or a week out, and we will sell $25 call or $26 calls. So we can see here that a $26 call obviously is not feasible because the stock price is $27. A $26 call would be $3 out of the money. So if we were to go to $30 right now, it'd be roughly the same. So $77, we would sell that, and we'd sell 20 contracts at 0.79, and that's $1,580 going 10 days out. Let's say it takes 2 weeks to do this. 1 week we collect $1,580, and the next 10-day or week period we collect $1,100 because the price goes down a little bit, so it's not as much premium. But realistically, we'll keep it simple and we'll do $1,580 for 1 week and $1,300 for the second week, just to, give it a little bit of room to wiggle to go down. So we sell a $26 call and we collect $1,580 for 10 days. And then we sell another $26 call because we don't get assigned yet, and we collect $1,300. Okay, 10 days. So all in all, this takes 30 days, 1 month. We collect $1,100, get assigned at $24, average cost $23.45. Then we sell these covered calls, and then we get assigned. So let's look at the profit. Oopsie. So let's look at the profit. First up, we collected $1,100, right? But then we bought 2,000 shares at 24, which is $48,000. So we have 48,000 minus 1,100. All right. Gonna do this nice and slow. 1,100. Now we have an invested cost of 46,900. Then we sell these covered calls, 1,300 plus. Well, we'll just take it away here. So we have 46,900 minus the 1,580 in the covered calls minus 1,300, leaving us with an average cost total investment of 44,020. All right. So now you guys can see that. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to calculate what we've profited. We now have sold 2,000 shares at $26, which is 52,000 minus 44,020, giving us 79.80 profit. Basically $8,000 in 1 month. You guys might be saying, hey, Corey, well, what happens if the stock doesn't go to $26? Well, that's great because you're going to keep selling $25 and $26 covered calls until it happens. So if it takes, let's say, another 3 covered calls that you're going to end up selling, like 30 more days, you're going out 10 days at a time. And let's say you get, 10 more days times 3, which is another month. Well, what would happen? You would just go ahead and you'd add on, let's even say 1,200 because the stock price goes to $22 for like 2 or 3 weeks. 1,200 times 3, you now make $11,400 5,500 and you divide that by 2 months, because it took another 10 days, 3 separate times in a row to get assigned, another 30 days because we're going out 10 days on every contract. And that still brings you $5,700 a month, almost $5,800 a month. So you're making between $5,000 and $6,000 per month on $45,000, which is a lot because that's roughly 10%. That's actually a little bit more than 10%. It's about 11. On the safe side, you're between 6 and 7%. And on the aggressive side, you're closer to 10 or 11. This is a pretty big return to get anywhere between 5 and 11% per month, considering the S&P 500 only returns 8 to 12 per year. You're going to be doing roughly 8 to 12 per month. That means you are going to be virtually doubling your money every year. On the safe side, you will be doing about a 50% to 60% return per year. So your 45,000 is going to be closer to 70 or 80,000 in a year. This is a very powerful strategy. Now, you might be asking yourself, what happens if the stock goes to $20 instead of 22 or 23? Well, you got in at 24. So if the stock doesn't go to 23 or 22 and it goes to say 20 or 21, instead of selling $26 calls, you will just sell $24 calls to get out the exact same price you paid. Therefore, the 1,100 is yours in the first 10 days. And then we're going to add up the 1,580 on the covered calls plus 1,300 plus maybe 1,200 multiplied by 3 separate contract expirations, 10 days per contract, which is a month. So going out 2 months, we make 7,580. Worst case, we get assigned at 24, stock drops to 20, we sell 24 covered calls instead of 26. This way we're getting out the same price we got in, because then at least this way the covered call premium is relatively the same as it was in the previous scenario, just the stock price dropped more. So we're not getting out at 26, we're getting out at 24. This is more of a bearish scenario. We still make 7,580 in 2 months divided by 2 is still 3,790, almost 4,000 a month, which is a lot. 4,000 a month on 45,000 is about 8% per month. So even in the more likely scenario, more bearish scenario, we are still printing 8 to 10% per month. This is great, right? We're just printing free cash. This is easy and passive. There's no real risk, right? There's no risk to getting assigned these shares, unless of course it's a bad company and they go bankrupt. But why would you run the wheel strategy on a stock that's bad? Palantir is sitting on $4 billion plus in cash, and they have exponential growth year over year, and they are in the AI software sector, AIP boot camps, and their AI is significantly better than ChatGPT. So this is a great stock, just one of the many examples that I teach in my training course and Discord. If you guys enjoy these strategies and you're looking to expand your knowledge even further than this, and you really want to dive in with me as your one-on-one coach and you want to achieve financial freedom, I ultimately would love to help you achieve your goals. You guys can sign up at any time, investwithcorey.com, right there on the screen or in the information box below. But you can see here that even in a situation where Palantir drops below 24 and goes to 20, within 2 months, we can generate almost $8,000 in profits on $45,000. This is very passive and very safe income. Here's another tip. Let's say you get assigned at 24, Palantir drops to 23 or 22, go $1 below that and sell aggressive puts. Right now we're at 27, so it'd be about the same price as selling at 26. You can collect about 120, obviously minus the implied volatility of earnings, it'd be worth more or less $60 or $70. But if we were to go to the calculator and you put up 10 more grand and do 4 contracts, actually you could get 5 out of that. 5 times 65-ish. You could bring in 325 times 3. You could bring in another 1,000. And if you get assigned on those, then you're getting closer in at the bottom and could sell more covered calls to generate even more money. But all in all, I've done this for years on different stocks. And what's going to happen is you get assigned on these shares at 975. Then you can ultimately now sell even more covered calls. It's still going to average out roughly the same. For 4 years now, almost 5 years on my wheel strategies, I have consistently made 5 to 10% per month. This is not even that aggressive. And I'm consistently doing it on Apple. I'm doing it on Microsoft, Meta, Palantir, done it a few times on SoFi, and it's printed consistently. I even ran the wheel strategy on Rivian recently, and I profited over $1,100 on a very small amount of only like 10 grand, which is a 10% return. And I did this in 2 weeks. So if you imagine $1,000 on 10 grand in 2 weeks with 45,000 generating $5,000 to $7,000 a month, relatively relatively simple as long as you understand the power of options and the charts and how to implement and how to get in and how to hedge with selling puts once the price drops, so you can get assigned at a lower price and lower your average and sell more calls, or just keep printing that juicy premium of the extra puts. And you can also use that put premium that you've collected to help offset your exit cost in a worst case scenario. You're entering at 24, you're exiting at 24 because the stock drops to 21. Well, you sell $20 puts, collect all that juicy premium, knowing the stock is highly unlikely to drop anymore, and it offsets the loss and the extra profit you would have made from 24 to 26. But ultimately, it all works out the exact same. You're going to generate 5 to 10% per month. One month it might be 3, the next month it might be 11, but at the end of the year, you're going to average out to be roughly 70-ish percent, 50 to 70%, maybe more. And that's what I've been consistently doing. On average, though, I have been making about 70% per year on stocks that are on the wheel strategy. So every year I dedicate about 300K or 400K to the wheel strategy, and I'm able to turn that into 600 or 700K every year. That's how I grow exponentially. Just one of my strategies that I ultimately use all the time. So you guys can see how powerful selling puts are. When the stock price drops, you get assigned, you get in cheaper, then you sell more puts below your average cost, sell covered calls above your entry, collecting juicy premiums week in and week out till you get assigned, and you sell the stock at a higher price than you paid for it while keeping all of that juicy premium for yourselves. High five. See what I'm saying? It's awesome, right? We're just getting paid to enter. We're getting paid to exit. Then we're keeping all the profits and all the premiums. Hey, I've got no problem with that. I'll keep all the money for myself. You can too with this awesome strategy, which is why the wheel strategy is ultimately my favorite and go-to play every year. Thanks so much, guys, for being here. Really appreciate you. Hey, if you guys like the channel and you like the content, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell. And, if you really like me and don't want to hurt my feelings, you could give me a thumbs up, right? Because it really helps me out. And if you guys are looking for one-on-one coaching and you want to ultimately achieve the financial freedom that you deserve, I really would love to help you guys out. You guys can sign up at any time, investcorey.com, right there on the screen or in the information box below. I can't wait to meet you, talk to you, and help you guys achieve your financial freedom. Hey, I know this video is over. I know it's a bummer, right? But I picked out another video just for you. You're going to love it. And that video, oh, right there. There it is. See, I almost missed it that time. There you go. I'm in 2 places at once. I'm over there. So click it. And remember, until the next video, let's grow our wealth together. Take care, guys.